And here we are. Yo! What's up?
I'm gonna bail out then.
You done?
I'm lightheaded as fuck.
You need to take a little break first? Ooh. Holy shit. Ooh. Hey, I'll stop by your camper and check on you. See you, buddy. Poor Dane. He's not feeling real good. I think he had the Rona a while back. His lungs, probably about like mine are at 100%. He's not jiving. Got a headache, a little bit lightheaded, and he's coughing. His lungs are definitely working against him. That shit sucks. So now I'm just gonna stroll through here a little easier. I've been trying to maintain medium pace, not a fast pace, not a slow pace, just a consistent pace. But now that I'm by myself, this Enduro Trail doesn't have any service really. if I get messed up out here, nobody except for Dane really knows where to come and find me. So just take it easy, have a little stroll, just out here doing a suspension test on the Beta. Jared, SR1, got me tuned and valved and serviced, resprung. So far I really like it. Did my little single track loop at the house. It's about 1.5 miles or maybe 2 miles, and immediately noticed that the deflectiveness was gone. The front fork is much more plush now than it used to be. And on top of that, my nitrogen reservoir on the rear had a crack in 4 places around the cap where you actually have a Schrader valve to purge or air it up with nitrogen, and it kept bleeding out. Jared told me when I very first got the bike, I went ahead and just resprung the rear without any service or valving or any type of getting into the shock. I just had him respring it to hold my big butt up. And I said, hey, while you've got it, might as well check and make sure that it's all full. He's like, it's low actually. Didn't think anything about it then, and the shocks always performed what I thought was all right. Little did I know, it's been running 70 or 80 pounds of nitrogen, the PSI, and it's supposed to have about 150 in it. So I'm gonna probably go 2 clicks soft, front and rear, about halfway through this loop, and just see what that feels like. Because right now I'm comfortable, but my white bike has Sachs open cartridge on the front fork, and also a Sachs shock on the rear. This bike has KYB on the front, which is twin chamber or closed chamber. And that white bike just feels so perfect. Probably has something to do with me being 300-hour comfortable on it. This bike's still pretty new to me. I'd say I've got less than 15 hours on this ride time on this bike. So many new lines on this trail. Yeah, hard to keep up with what's original. But there's trees down, and there's a lot of just blown out, like super holes and ruts type of spots. It's kind of difficult to remember and maintain, you know, what's what. When it gets green again here in a few weeks, it'll be real fun. But anyways, back to my suspension. Jared Daniels SR1 is one of the best I've ever worked with. He's a local guy. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Super good quality product. Very good customer service. Awesome turnaround times. And his pricing is like unmatched. I mean, he does great work for a good price. Extremely good price. I've had friends from New York, West Virginia, here local, all say, man, watch your videos and I hear you bragging on that suspension guy. What do I got to do to get in contact with him? I want a revalve, or I want a service, or I want seals and springs, or whatever it may be. I've drummed up quite a bit of business for Jared, I think. He takes care of me for it too. He's a good dude. I'm out here today. Got off work just a little bit early. Wrapped up some meetings. Got some paperwork taken care of, and had to stop and hotspot on the way here to send some programs and training materials over to another client that I didn't have any meetings with. I did there about a few weeks, a month ago or so. Anyhow, hare scramble season starts back up this weekend, and I've not been riding as much as I'd like, for one, at all, because of weather. It's been rainy, so bad. Now I've just been tied up with work. I've had several pretty days. Took a trip to Supercross. That's one day. But just been busy with life. I need to focus on diet and exercise. Feel like my riding's coming together finally. Been doing this type of stuff since November 2019. Took 2020 to learn how to ride after my first hard enduro that I kind of didn't fail at, but disappointed myself with my performance. The gentleman that owned this bike prior, one of my real good friends, entered that race with me with hardly any hard enduro or single track experience, but a ton of mountain bike and downhill experience, which is surprising to me translated super well. He picked this stuff up like a glove, like, oh, it was just a perfect fit for him. He was putting a little bit of time on this bike, and he came here and rode with me. He came to a sacred place in West Virginia we don't talk about. A couple of my secret stashes, my private property back home. He loved Doe Mountain. Got him up at Brown once. Then they closed for the season. And then we were here one day. I can't remember, we were running a faster trail. I can't remember whether it was this trail. It was single track. It was either this or like 5B maybe. But he rode my bike. I was like, damn, I got the wrong one. I needed to get the RR, not the race. And after I rode this bike that day, I was like, man, this thing's really good for fast stuff, but suspension's just not there for hard enduro. And that was like my first thoughts. Well, after buying the bike from him, those thoughts remain definitely valid and accurate. So I went all the way soft with the clickers, resprung the rear for what I thought it needed to be for my weight, and Jared told me Race Tech said it needed to be. Rode it till it needed a service. Just got the fluid change and front springs put in, and revalved. Also the valving springs, the I guess what would be called maybe the high-speed spring. Jared put a better fit for a spring rate for this type of riding in there for me, which was huge. He said they had the valve shim stack pretty soft for compression and mid-range, but he went ahead and set her one click or one setting softer and put the clickers in the middle somewhere he thought they would need to be for rebound and compression. And like I said, it feels really, really good first ride right out of the box. So much better. I called to thank him for such a good job just after riding it around the house. I thought it was like Damn, already like daylight and dark different. Damn, this has gotten blown up. There's 9 sections to this Enduro Trail. Once I get through section 4, maybe at section 5, I'll take it. Bust my flathead screwdriver out and show Kyle Brotherson how you can do it with a straight non-90 degree flathead screwdriver without any issues, and just hit the clickers. Those are like seat deep ruts. That's crazy. But yeah, my point purchasing this bike was 2 reasons. One, it was a really good deal, and I knew all the service history and what had been done to it and who owned it. I also thought, you know, my bike, I'll have over 400 hours on it this year. God forbid I have a part fail or, you know, wear out or need replaced or repaired, and sits me back any amount of time with this whole COVID crap going on. Not a bad idea to have a second bike. And I thought, you know what, to justify it, I'm gonna make this my race bike, make my white 18RR just my trail bike, my pleasure bike, my normally like this kind of day, you know, practice going out and riding for leisurely purposes and fun, not organized events where I pay money to go out and torture myself. So this is going to be my race rig. I just wanted to come and get a feel for it before Sunday's race. I'll probably do hair scrambles and hard enduros on this thing. Hair scrambles really just to keep my stamina and momentum, you know, my pace going in the right direction, faster, forward, not stopping. This little enduro loop here is great loop for that. It's got some challenging spots, nothing ridiculous by any means, but it's got some good, you know, challenging spots with 14 or 15 maybe miles, and it's not like hair scramble pace, not for most people. I've heard people coming through here in about an hour and a half from one end to the other. We hit it at the very beginning. I killed it too. I missed the first hill climb. I didn't hit the record button until we got up and crossed the main trail into what's about halfway through the official start. A lot of people go up to the top of the hill and bypass that first gnarly little hill climb. I love that thing. There's like a spider web. There's like 6 different lines you can do to go up, and a lot of people don't know about it or miss it, or it's in the bottom of a hill in a left-hand turn, but it's on the right, so people aren't really looking over there to find that or see that. But Dane and I started there. We stopped when he told me he was gonna bail out and didn't feel well. I stopped for just a couple minutes and said, okay, let's make sure that you're good and make sure you get to the bailout safe, and I'll come check on you at your camper later. But other than that, I'm gonna hit this baby end to end at just a, like I said, just a regular pace here. See how long it takes me. I'm about halfway through now. I'm not sure what time I started. No clue, really. But I'll have it on GoPro, so I should have a pretty good idea as to how long I can do this. I'm running, I think I'm running like Strava too, and Relive now. I don't know how accurate it'll be since I've stopped with old Dano, at least during that section. I think Kosiba holds King of the Mountain. We got some Strava lines out here. Strava's like a mountain bike app, but we put it on e-bike since they don't have a motorcycle feature or dirt bike feature. We put it on e-bike, and people that like the mountain bike and dirt bike both create some segments, and we come out here and see who can clean them the fastest. I had it at one point in time, but I wasn't even on a you know, fast ride. I was just out here and did it all. And Doug came through here, I don't know how long ago, over a year maybe, I don't know. He has the same bike, so sometime late 19, early 20 probably, blew my King of the Mountain, which is the best time, out of the water. He just obliterated me. Now I just kind of want to see what it takes. It's been a long time since I've come out here and been able to hit this one end to the other, especially at my pace. I'm normally riding with the group, which isn't a bad thing. That normally makes me ride a little faster, but some of the guys I ride with definitely doesn't make it faster. We got to help them and stop and take breaks and bullshit and get snacks and drinks. But we're not out here to increase our pace hare scramble ride. We're out here to have fun and hang out with our buddies kind of ride. Been getting lots of questions on tire setup lately. I'm running Shinko Fatty on the front. That's pretty much like religious. I do plan on trying the cheater compound soon. The cheater compound, a little bit softer than the traditional Fatty. And hopefully chunks less. This tire gets really, really good grip everywhere. But after about 50 hours, it starts chunking pretty bad. Thought I felt my front brake getting soft, and had a little baby nick in my stainless braided front brake line. Not really in the metal, but in the plastic. I checked it out, it was dry, didn't seem to be leaking. I put some electrical tape around it just to kind of seal it up and close it off, but I need to, this bike sat a lot the first year when Bobby owned it. It's been ridden more now than it probably ever has. I need to flush the clutch, just to be sure I was getting a full pull one day. But I need to go through and do both front and rear brakes and see if my reservoir's low, or if this thing is getting squishy, or if I'm crazy. Maybe there's air in it, who knows. Back to tires. Shinko fatty on the front. It's a 9121. I can't remember the number. 7 something, 725 or shit, I don't know. Fat tire. And typically run a Shinko 505 cheater 120 on the rear. But all my buddies been hyping this IRC VE33S Kokoda up. So I tried her out at COVID Crusher and it got me first place. So I cannot complain about that tire. I think it's a great tire. Slimy, slick, nasty. Rocky conditions there that day, and now pretty good dry conditions here today, and it's hooking up good. Running 9 pounds on the front and 5 in the rear. I always thought this is the way, but there's another trail that looks much more ridden to my left. So let's head over there. This might used to be the old line. I don't know. All right, where's the arrows at? There. Yep. I feel like I always get screwed up right there. I called SOS, called Tyler right there. I was like, dude, I'm in like a 4-way. Don't see any arrows, see a big log across the road. Which freaking way are we supposed to go, man? He's like, what section are you in? I'm like, hell if I know. But I didn't know what dirt was gonna be like. I heard it was a little dry and dusty. It's not too bad because I'm by myself. But the reason I'm running 9 and 5, I'm experimenting a little bit. I normally would run like 10.5 in the front and like 6.5 in the back, but on a different rear tire, on a 120. This is a 110, so I don't have as much area and volume to fill up, so a little less air, a little more squish, a little more area. You know, you need probably a little bit more air. About a pound is what I'm figuring in my head. Get the same amount of squish, but it's faster. It's dry. I'm rolling a little bit harder. Don't want to beat the heck out of my rim, so running a little bit more air. And I would say like 9 and 5 or 10 and 6 is good for a regular ride day. I won't really ever go more than 10.5 in the front. And I don't know that I've went over over 6.5 in the rear since I started getting into harder stuff. Most of the time I'm running like 2 or 3 and then 8.5 or 9 in the front. But the general rule of thumb is you know, for starters, like I'm big, you know, I weigh a lot. So I get good traction with that, and think that's why I can make the 505 work so well. And everybody's like, that tire's garbage. And I'm like, well, it takes me up the same shit you're riding on. And this is no joke. The first 505 that I ever ran, I put 98 hours on it. Now, it was by far at the end of its useful life when I took it off. But it was still getting me to most places I needed. Required a little bit more effort, a little less pressure. It's still working. So any tire that lasts 80 or 90 hours, or 98 in that one's case, it's a good tire to me. Since then, I've probably put around 70 to 80 hours, probably definitely closer to 80 on 2 more, I think. Yeah, 2 more of those tires. One had an entire Colorado trip on it, which is lots of hard packed single track, big rocks, gravel roads connecting some trail, fast paced stuff. We were drag racing on the gravel stuff too, so it wasn't easy miles. Those are hard miles and hours. And that one I went over 80 with. I've got one on the bike now that's probably halfway through its cycle. I want to say I put that baby on at about 290 hours. I think I'm at 330 or 340. So it's around 40 to 50 hours on that tire. And I'll still run it. It makes it nice, because I will say that this tire works better. So when I get off that white bike for practice, and I've been having to work it to get the same amount of traction, I can just, you know, easily get out of this tire, which ultimately will change more often and have less hours on it, so it should stay fresher. Should make things better. Should be easier for me, hopefully. This front tire is probably not too far from needing gone. It hasn't started to chunk, but I've seen some side knobbies getting torn, and a few of them are tore, like we got tear marks from one side to the other and just haven't fallen off. There's probably not much longer on that guy. We'll see. I'm gonna try to keep this bike in a race ready type of condition. God, that's a hole. Maybe after I get a tire half to 3/4 the way worn out on this one, I'll put it on my other bike. I don't know. See how often I'm going through tires. Oh, back to Bobby. He sold me this bike, and that day he was out here on 5B or this trail, whatever faster paced stuff we were riding. He hopped on the CX Recluse wagon. He was like, oh, I gotta get one of those. I gotta get one of those. And I'll be damned if his riding didn't go backwards. He was better with a standard clutch, manual clutch, than he was with the CX Radius, which is both. It won't let you stall, but it still has every function of a normal clutch. Like, for example, you know, you pull it in, it works. You can still modulate and manipulate the clutch function just like a normal bike. The only difference is if you're on a big hill and you think letting out on the clutch is going to stop you from rolling backwards, you're wrong. You've got to give it a little bit of fuel to engage that Recluse. That's a big inconvenient tree on a odd spot and angle. Good God, this go around was even worse. I need to put my chainsaw mount on my other bike and come out here and just clean this up. Tyler lost his help apparently, and he's got enough to maintain. It's hard to get all of it. We like the challenges, so I logged down to hard enduro or single track rider. It's just a new obstacle in the course, but there's some that are a little more of a pain in the ass and a incentive. I'd like to come through and trim this back a little bit. Some of the areas that are grown up get bad in the summertime. Get the big stuff that's tree tops, you know, they're right in the middle of the trail out of the way. That's not, we don't hop tree tops, we hop logs. There's a few areas that just need a few touch-up spots. See, like this shit right here, this needs to go. Barely even get under that. Shit, I was supposed to adjust my forks and forgot. Another reason I can tell they're immediately better, I suffered from arm pumps, seriously. About every time I got on this bike, definitely a COVID crusher, man. It was killing me. Today, pretty mild. Not even really bothering me, but I can feel just a little bit of tension in my forearm. But as I strengthen that muscle, I've been off the bike for a little bit compared to usual. That'll go away on its own. But I also think that about 2 clicks would just completely be like exactly where I want it. 2 to 3 clicks soft, maybe set. But I would say on average, last year I was able to ride two times a week. I would say that's average. One weekend day and one weekday. And that might be a Friday and Saturday, or Monday and Sunday, or Wednesday and Saturday. I mean, it was a cancellation popped up left and right in my schedule. So instead of sitting at home and moping about it, I go ride. Work day got canceled. Well, time to ride the dirt bike. That's how I put so much seat time on last year. And it was awesome. From this point forward, it's my favorite part of the Enduro Trail. This year, I've got a goal to come to Brushy with my GoPro. This will take a long time, multiple days at least, of riding. But I want to get like, so this one will be the entire Enduro Trail. This is gonna be the first video I make to illustrate what this place has to offer. Entire section. So entire Enduro Trail, entire without a paddle, entire chutes and ladders, entire Hell's Holler, entire 5B, entire 9C, 9C extension, Graham's Gulch, 11C, Andy's Shitty Soul Hill, Hell's Holler, the Bypass, Chicken Fight, all the places that everyone always hears about. I want to get them on film and post them on YouTube and all of our, you know, West Carolina riders page and my Full Throttle Enduro. I'm probably going to turn that into a page. Full Throttle Enduro is what I came up with for my YouTube channel. Probably going to make a little group or, you know, something like that out of it. But West Carolina riders, I love single track, dirt bike life, just to name a few. That way people know what they're getting themselves into. Hello, tree. Well, at least have an idea of what they'd be getting themselves into, because the videos, they don't do justice. I mean, they never do, but this stuff out here, you're talking, you know, like, I've never even done Winslow's Waterfall, but I've walked it. That is so stupid. Like, even the little hard enduro single track pro line going up to it isn't easy. There's a downhill off camber that's so steep, I pretty much walk my bike every time unless there's perfect traction. She'll dump it over a hill or into a creek or off a rock ledge. But then Winslow's Waterfalls, just so gnarly. I think Logan Bolapew busted his elbow during Battle of the Goats last year, like significantly bad. Like, got patched up with a homemade tourniquet and sent back to the truck, and had to get checked out at the hospital. I mean, it's super long, super steep. Slick isn't even the right word for it. And some of this stuff out here, I'll be honest, like I do 99% of it, but there's some stuff that the reward isn't there, or the risk that's associated with it, for me breaking an expensive part, or you know, hurting myself or my bike, causing myself to get hurt so bad I can't ride again. It's not worth that. So guys come out here and just lariat and send their bikes off stuff and bang them all to pieces, and that's not me. I take good care of my stuff. Not that, you know, that doesn't mean they don't take good care of their stuff. Cosmetically, they might not give a shit what it looks like, but not everybody is real worried about cosmetics on these things. I'm one of those people. I like my shit to look good and clean. Try to maintain them that way. But two of my buddies came out here last weekend, looping bikes out, flipping over handlebars, creating new lines, naming new hills, ripping fenders off, breaking all kinds of stuff. They're all the time ripping levers off, and front fender this time. Closer to the end. Right time for a little drink. Terribly far from the roller coaster section. You'll see, if you're still watching, you'll see why they call it that. Bike's feeling so much better. Can't wait for my seat concepts comfort seat to come in on this pig. Then she'll be perfect. Well, we'll see. She'll be as close to my white bike as I think I can get her. Pretty much has most of the same accessories and parts, modifications, whatever. The geometry is just slightly different. They did change the frame on this bike. The seat's pretty flat. Now as a result, which I'm trying to practice standing more. Hard on these legs, keep this fat ass off the seat for extended periods of time. that was not what that was not what I had in mind. Holy shit. I don't know if I can make it from a dead stop here or not, but we'll try. Oh yeah. That was funny. I just clobbered that root ball. I don't know if I got a little bit target fixated on that or what the hell happened, but these are getting washed out pretty bad too. Well, dang. Didn't set myself up real well for that. Wrong gear. think that was hilarious earlier. Hit that roller coaster and just plowed that freaking thing. I got myself more out of breath pulling my bike downhill backwards than I have riding any of this on the bike forwards. I used to push a lot. Push, pull, drag, cuss, get help, do help. I still do, just not nearly as much. Everything's quite a bit more enjoyable that way too, if I do say so myself. I wish I'd have got one of those little rings, other rings that go around the fork tube to see how much of the compression stroke I'm using in this fork. It is dusty today though, so I might be able to tell by the seal pushing the dirt down. Let's see. I have to ask Jared next time he does it. I don't think I got seals this time from memory. I think that's so much confusion. Yeah, I think that's why that big bastard fell. And it's blocking part of "You Suck," I think is what they used to call it. I don't know. But I feel like we used to come up this. Yeah, this is an up. I need to get some arrows and come out here and remark this. Because now I'm going where I looked at just a hot second ago. Yeah, I know where I'm at now. Okay, now at least I'm in the semi-right spot. I don't know if this hill has a name, but it's a fun one. Washout right here. Soft one when it's wet. people think this is the end of the Enduro Trail. Kinda, not really. It goes across the road and continues on for a little piece, and then you get to the end of section 9, which is the end, and then there's like a repeat section. So there's a little portion that'll take you back to the start if you wanted to run multiple laps, or if you wanted to repeat a section or something like that. I think I started this about 3 o'clock because I didn't get here till, God, I don't know, 2:30. Went and took care of business in the bathroom, went to change, and realized that the one thing I needed to change in the bathroom was my compression. I dropped in the floorboard of the truck getting it out, so I had to change at the truck. There ain't nobody out here, so it's not a huge deal by any means. But went and talked to Tyler, hung out with Dane for a second, did a few loops around his van, playing on a little rock feature, a little trousy. Hop up onto it and then wheelie across and into the road. Probably did that a half a dozen times, sitting there circling like a shark while he's getting geared up and dressed and ready. It's 4:22 when I looked at the clock. And if I started at 3 like I would assume I did, close to it, maybe even, I don't know, a little before or after, I'm currently under the hour-and-a-half mark. So this is what I've always considered the end of the Enduro Trail. And then here you got a sign that says repeats last 3.5 miles, which that's something else. I need to do something to pull. I guess this needs to come up. I don't know. Enduro Trail. I don't know that I've ever done this, and if I have, it's been a long time ago. Shortcut to Enduro Trail. This must be maybe part of that first hill that I already did. About to find out. Yeah. Yep, I know where I'm at now. Boy, that looks like some future Battle of the Goat stuff there. double. I used to be so scared of that little spot. I used to never want to double that. Yeah, this fork's doing a lot better. Oh, God dang. No, I got braces on. Sorry.
That's all. I'm feeling it right in the boom.
Well, luckily I'm covered. I didn't used to be, but